My name is Stephanie Worley, and I am first grade dual language at Skelly Primary. And this is my co-ELL partner, Julia Story.
And I have been teaching for 7 years. This is my second year as an ELL and my first year to try co-teaching, and it's been a wonderful partnership that we're working on here, so we're excited to share it with you.
And this is my 25th year and second year in dual language.
One of the ways that we collaborate together is to try and get together and discuss lessons. Today we're going to be teaching a lesson on graphing, and we worked together to pull some information off the internet and talked about some of the issues that the kids might have and what background knowledge that they have.
Julie pushes into my classroom 2 times a week to help me with my ELL students that need that extra little bit of reassurance, that extra explanation that maybe sometimes they miss in my instruction. So I always welcome her when I see her twice a week.
We don't always have an opportunity to plan every single lesson we do. Sometimes I just push into the classroom and kind of pick up on what they're learning, what they're working on that day, and just kind of, one of the things that I like about the co-teaching model is that by pushing in, Stephanie's giving them information, and then I'm going to give them the same information. I'm just going to give it to them in a different vocabulary and different words, so they get to hear it from 2 sources in 2 different ways, and that is a good way for them to try and learn that information.
One of the challenges that we sometimes face, it doesn't challenge me to have Julie push in because I've team taught before, and I love that theory. I believe in that theory. I recommend that theory if you find the right person to do that with. But one challenge I do find is I often take for granted that she knows exactly what I'm teaching, what I've been teaching, so I have to catch her up to speed, maybe through a quick email, through a text, just to let her know, hey, this is what we're doing this week, or hey, I've changed this lesson plan, and we're gonna go with it from there. One of the benefits to co-teaching is actually, although children learn from children, they also learn from different teaching styles. My teaching style may vary from Julia's may vary from mine, so we are able to interact those 2 together and maybe hit on the same objective but in 2 different ways.
As an ELL teacher, the thing that I am particularly sensitive about is we both understand and respect the fact that we're both teachers in our own rights. However, I do feel like that I have an obligation because I'm coming into her classroom to adapt my teaching style and the way I do things so that they complement Stephanie and not try and come at it kind of head to head. So I do think there is a way to work with all different types of learning styles, but I think as ELLs we definitely need to be adaptable to the teacher we're working with.
The lesson that you will see us co-teach is a math lesson on graphing, and we will be talking about the different graphs in math, and we will be graphing some zoo animals that relates to our upcoming school-wide field trip to the zoo next week.
And we actually taught this lesson this morning, and so we've already done some reflecting together, and we've tweaked things a little bit. We like the way things went. We are going to work with the kids a little bit more on some of the vocabulary in the worksheet, some of the things they'll need to know. But overall, it was a good lesson. The kids really enjoyed it.
Okay, so to continue our lesson from this morning, when you all came to me before lunch, who can tell us the story of what we were talking about? Miguel? Yeah, graphs. That's right, graphs. And when you make a graph, what are you doing? You're kind of like a scientist. You're doing, collecting what?
Information.
Information. What's that other big word that we talked about? Data. Very good. Where might you see a graph? Ashley? Oh, here? Okay. This is your graph. You have already seen the morning classes. But yes, this is the afternoon graph, and you're going to make this. You're going to create this.
Zoo.
To the zoo, yes.
Awesome.
So we have been doing things with some zoo animals, and this week our math lesson led us into graphing. So,
Great.
How they gonna get on?
how are they going to get on? That is a very good question, Luis. How do you think you're going to pick your favorite animal and make it stick on? All there?
Want some tape?
Tape,
Ooh,
maybe? What else
good.
could you use? Glue? Oh, you all love glue, don't you? Oh, yes.
Oh, I know.
You're the gluing king and queens,
What do you
aren't
think,
you?
Esteban? What do you think?
A book?
Are these all that zoo animals we're going to see? No. No. But Mrs. Story and I picked these out because these are some of our favorite and we like them.
Monkey?
Hey, I have a question. Where do you guys think you might see a graph? Esteban, where would you see a graph?
In the store?
At a store. You know what? You might actually, on the bulletin boards at the store, they might have a graph up there. Where do you think you might see one? At what? When you go like to a restaurant, you know, it's possible you could see a graph at a restaurant someplace. What do you think? In a classroom, you definitely, especially when you get older, you're going to see them. Where do you think? In school, yeah. And how many of you have seen or get a newspaper at your house? How many of you know what a newspaper is? Okay, awesome. Almost every single day in the newspaper, they have a graph that shows us information, and it helps us to look at the graph and then know what the story is going to be about.
Because remember, you know how Mrs. Worley likes to stop the video in between and ask you important questions to see if you have your listening ears on. So check your ears.
Everybody ready?
Okay? Here we go.
All right.
You're going to learn about bar graphs. If you look right, our favorite fruit.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's call it favorite fruit.
What is this?
With this graph, I
The
want
title.
to put the names of the fruit on the bottom and the numbers on the left side going up. We can see here on the bottom, we have the names of the fruits. We should label what these are.
Okay, let's read them. Awesome. Man, their reading skills are.
And where do they always start at on until we have collected data? 0.
Okay,
Does
next we have
this match
oranges.
this?
How many
Yes.
people liked oranges?
How many people?
Good job. 3 people liked oranges.
Help it
So we
count.
move the bar up to where the 3 is.
1, 2, 3. Ooh, that
Now
moves
how many
faster.
people liked pears?
Just 1.
We had
Okay, I'm going to stop for a second because I have a question. Because I know that you work on telemarks with Mrs. Worley in the morning. So raise your hand if you know the answer. I see all these telemarks are up and down, but I see one that's slanted. Can somebody tell me why that's slanted? Why is that slanted? You want some help? Or you got it?
Turn and share really fast
Yeah,
with your partner
everybody
what
turn
you
and
think
share.
that slash mark means. Really fast.
That means that
Go on the front. See the face.
What do you think it means? All right, what does it mean? You have so what is that? All right, did you figure it out? What is it? Okay, what's it mean? It means the 5th one. We do 4 in a row, and then we do the slash mark to make it 5, and that groups it together. So we always know when we see the tally marks and the slash mark that that's a group of 5, okay?
The marking and we made it more tiny marks here to my ball.
Yep. Now say that again.
Okay, I make a lot of tiny marks como.
Well, you make 4, right? And then you make the slash.
But if you make more tally marks, it won't be tally marks. And you
It
have
won't?
to mark it.
What will it be if it won't be tally marks?
Tonight.
Yeah, it'll still be tally marks.
Yeah.
They're just easier to count by 5s. Remember, that's why we practice every morning. 5, 10.
15, 20.
Okay, stop. No
No
gorillas.
gorillas.
Okay, crisscross applesauce so the person behind you can see.
Okay. All right. So you guys think the lions have more? Okay. It looks that way, doesn't it? But we're going to go ahead and count just to make sure. So first of all, how many gorillas?
0.
How many monkeys? 1. Alligators. Am I going to start counting from the top or from the bottom?
Bottom.
Good job. I like that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10. All right.
11. Zebra.
11. The zebras. How many zebras?
1.
Okay, lion. Can you guys see?
11.
Well, we gotta count. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. And what about the other ones? 1.
How many altogether?
Oh. How many alligators?
10.
How many lions?
11.
So 10 plus 11
21.
plus
22. 23.
24.
Whose
Good
vote are
job.
we missing?
Umbrella.
Andreas's, yeah.
Oh.
He's absent.
Because
I
he's
think
not
he's
here.
gonna pick that.
Could he make a difference in our outcome?
Probably.
Probably he could, yes, he probably could. If he voted for what animal, it might be a tie. Which animal would, if he, yes.
Yeah.
So in closing today, although it may have looked like mass confusion when the students were collecting their data, this is not obviously an activity that you want to do at the beginning of the school year. It has taken this class months and months of procedures and routines and watching watching each other as they grow into this type of activity. So having a partner to share that with, having another co-teacher that obviously ideas in the same room with you is not going to happen every day, 5 days a week. But if you are fortunate enough to have a working partner, then by all means take advantage of that and do fun, creative movement activities like the one you saw today.
And I really enjoy working with Stephanie, and I think one of the reasons that we are able to work well together is because we do respect each other as teachers. As an ELL teacher, I feel like it's my job to kind of match my teaching style to the teacher I'm working with. There's another teacher in the building who has more of a free-form classroom, and I love going into her classroom and working with her kids, but I wouldn't expect to have the same teaching style with her that I do with Stephanie. So I think as ELL teachers, we need to accommodate our homeroom teachers and realize that even though we're on an equal basis as far as we're both teachers, that we are in effect coming into their homeroom and their classroom, and we need to be respectful and aware of that. And I think being able to work with the same kids and talk about the kids and really get to know just what I see about the kids, but also what Mrs. Worley sees about the kids helps us to really know the best way for that child to learn and the best way that we can help them.